Okay, hello, hi everyone. If you could just confirm on the chat that you can hear us and you can see us, that would be great and awesome. So let's wait a few seconds to see if everything works. I know that there is a slight delay between the stream and what people can see on YouTube. I've just tested it. Yeah, and thanks, Michał. We see that everything works. So, hello, one more time. And today is a pretty good day and pretty important day for us because we want to share something that we are building for the last couple of months that we are exceptionally proud of. And especially thanks for you for joining, because the landing page that was inviting you to join this webinar was a little bit mysterious. It was mysterious by design because we wanted to invite and share this good information, especially with the people who will trust us and join this webinar, even if there was no clear what we'll be showing, and I'm pretty sure that something that we'll show you in the next hour will impress you. So let's go. So in terms of the presenters, so my name is Jacob Kubryński. I'm a founder and currently a CEO of DevSkiller. And I'm also a developer. I do it professionally for around 16 years. Right now, I'm also a contributor of some open source projects, mostly in Java world, like Spring Boot. I'm also a co-author of the Spring Cloud Stream, so the library to manage the testing in distributed systems. And what's important is that this webinar I will hold as a developer, not only as a CEO of DevSkiller. Tomek, can you introduce a little bit yourself?
Yeah, and I'm Tomek. I'm a CTO at DevSkiller. I'm really into Java development, I would say. I wrote a book about RxJava, a library that was recently kind of replaced by Reactor, but that's a different story. And large parts of the things you're about to see in the upcoming hour were written by me. So hopefully everything's going to work. If not, I am the one to blame. I know that the landing page sounded a little bit like quite marketing-ish. But we really have something very, very juicy and very exciting to show you. So yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so now very important thing, and it's very important if you want this webinar to go smoothly. You need to help us a little bit, and we would like you or invite you or ask you to tweet on Twitter with the hashtag #DevSkillerRevolution. And you can tweet link to this stream. You can tweet hi or anything else, but we need your tweets, at least 3, because we are going to give away 3 books, the books that we really believe are very valuable books. It means Your Code as a Crime Scene. That's a very good book about the quality of the programming and basically the programmer job. And of course, we will do that using Java random class as it should be. But please tweet to Twitter with this one, as it will really help us. And otherwise, I will need to tweet some tweets by myself. But yeah, I hope there won't be a need for that. So yeah, remember to tweet anything with this hashtag, and you will be able to grab a very good book. Okay, so how this webinar will look like, so how the agenda looks like and what you can expect. So we'll start with some live coding. It will be secure random. Thanks for that.
He's just the CEO. I'm the CTO. I will be doing the development with secure random. Don't worry about that.
But even in the email that you received with the invitation to the webinar, there was an information that it will use secure random, and that was written by me. So I still remember the difference between random and secure random. So yeah, thanks for that. Definitely my mistake. So yeah, we'll start with live coding. Then we'll do a few clicks around our platform, so around devskiller.com, and then we'll continue with live coding. and then we'll have a time for Q&A. So basically, yeah, expect a lot of live coding, a lot of ID, etc. But just to like make the long story short, I will just jump into the code. So if you have any questions, just feel free to write them on the chat. Of course, there is a dedicated time at the end, but if you have questions like during the webinar, just feel free to ask them. We hope this webinar can be really interactive. So yeah, feel free to ask questions whenever you want. So yeah, let me do the job. So I will open the JetBrains IntelliJ. So as you already know, we asked you for the tweets for a reason. There is a particular reason why we asked them to tweet. So during this presentation, we'll focus on the one application. That's an application that was created yesterday, I think. And it's a simple application, even not a full application, but it's, let's say, a framework or a bootstrap for the application to draw people from Twitter, just to give away the books. So that's the stuff. And that's a regular Spring Boot application. You can see that there is a Spring Boot application class, that's the main class that is running this application. And a very important part of it is a controller. It's
Kuba,
standard.
if I may interrupt you, if you hide us, then the IDE will be bigger.
Yeah, I wanted to be visible, but okay, let's do that. So it's not tiny. I just changed the font, so you will be able to see it better. So the main part of this application is the controller. It's a giveaway controller that is a REST controller, and this REST controller is exposing one mapping that is like a get mapping on a giveaway URL that is taking two request params, hashtag and limit. And when I will go deeper, there is a set of strings returned. That is, of course, set of usernames of a random participants. And of course, what needs to be done here is to implement the Twitter client that is unimplemented. Let's say that I don't know how to implement that, but I need this task. I need this task to be able to give you the books. So that's pretty good reason to have it. And what's special about this application and what makes this application special? Basically nothing. It's just a regular applications with some tests. The tests I can of course run, hopefully. And after running this test, you will realize that it works. And the tests are running. They are of course not passing because I wasn't able to implement everything. So there is a null pointer, etc. So yeah, pretty bad on this place. But let's say that I don't know how to do this application, or I want to ask Tomek Nurkiewicz to do this application or complete this application as a candidate. That's basically a pretty good idea for a business. If you don't know how to write a code, just give it to your candidates, and they will complete the code for you. But to be fully honest, yes, I want to use this application that is a regular Spring Boot application as a test for the candidate at DevSkiller. And what I need to do right now is, of course, DevSkiller this application, DevSkillerize this application. And I can do it very, very simply, but adding one simple JSON file that is called DevSkiller.json. And it's the JSON file that contains one very important section called verification. Verification. And this verification section tells me how DevSkiller should assess the solution, how DevSkiller should use this solution to test the candidates. And what I will add here, I will add something like test name patterns. And I'm saying here that, okay, so every single test, unit test that is executed using JUnit, Spock, or anything else that contains a verify pack somewhere in the name, it's a regular expression, should be treated as a verification test and should be like included or used to score the candidate solution and judge if the candidate is good or less promising. The second thing I need to do is path patterns, and it's about like all of the files that should be hidden from the candidate. It's not exactly the same as the pattern name, because here we are talking about the file patterns, and in test name we are talking about the name, the patterns for the names, and that's basically everything. So as you can see right now, when I will like upload this project to DevSkiller, Tomek as a candidate will get exactly the same project, but with this file just removed from his version. That's the pack, the 2 unit tests written in Spock, as you can see, that will be used to assess his solution. And beyond some like very simple things, as we have in these 2 tests that will be visible for Tomek, we of course have some edge cases, like what will happen if there are 0 participants, or what will happen if there are no participants at all, or like how we deal with tweets that are, I don't know, too old or something like this. So everything here is like is looking like this, and everything, literally everything that you need to do to be able to upload any single application to DevSkiller and use it to test candidates is to ask this file, and that's all. Of course, I can extend that, and I can, for example, say read-only files. And here I can say that, okay, so Tomek, but basically the bad news is that you cannot edit dependencies, because in the normal way, Tomek will be able to add some dependencies to do that. I know some Twitter SDK that will do the same as he is asked to do it, which is basically a pretty good idea. But let's say at this moment I don't want to allow that. So I'm saying like POM XML is like is hidden, so you cannot edit this file. And what should be done right now is, if I want to add this to DevSkiller platform, everything I need to do is to add tweet.zip and compress everything. Maybe without the target class, but yeah, compress everything, and that's all. Like this way, I've prepared the package to be uploaded to our platform. And what I can do right now, you should be able to see my screen, is to simply create a new task. DevSkiller comes with over 4,000 ready-to-use tasks, so it doesn't mean that I need to like I need to, or I have to create my own task to do that. But DevSkiller is bringing something that we call the real-life testing. So real-life testing means that I'm testing candidates against something that is important for me. At this moment, it's like being able to draw people from Twitter, because that's what I need. I need someone with that knowledge or that skill or something like this. So DevSkiller allows you to like add tests or tasks with your domain or with your like needs or with your frameworks, libraries, systems, etc. So I can use one of the ready-to-use 4,117 tasks, or I can run create my own task. And to do that, I just need to like name, of course, this task. So I will call it tweet task, add some text to the candidate, and then basically say that, okay, here I'm testing the Twitter, I'm testing Java, I'm testing Spring Boot knowledge or something like this. This task will be easy. So Tomek, if you will fail, like, you know, it's pretty bad information for you.
You did it on purpose.
As it's easy. Yeah, and I'm choosing what I want to use. And of course, DevSkiller supports every modern technologies, but here I'm using Java with Gradle, with Maven. I'm choosing the version of Java. Here I will use the Java 11, and I'm just basically uploading the task. And that's all. Like right now, you can use it to test candidates. Of course, you can like decide to add some extra stuff to this. So if you want to use, for example, Redis database, You just click that and Redis is available for the candidate to test. If you want to check if someone is able to transfer data from Postgres to Redis, no problem. Just 2 checkboxes and you can use this infrastructure, and that's a real...
provision that for you.
Yeah, we'll provision that. Of course, it's Dockerized, but we are provisioning this stuff for you. I will skip it for now, just I don't want to waste a few minutes to do that. Of course, I've prepared this earlier, and there is a test called Twitter that is having the same task. And what I will do right now, I will invite Tomek. So tenor plus webinar at devskiller.com. I will send you an email choosing a default test, and yeah, let's invite Tomek. So right now, DevSkiller is inviting Tomek, is preparing all of the environment for him, and as you can see, everything is already prepared. So right now, I will just post sharing of the screen, and let's move it to Tomek. Tomek, if you could
share my screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So what you saw right now, you should see my Gmail inbox, I guess. Kuba, can you confirm?
No, right now I cannot see anything.
Let's just wait a second.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Now it
Okay,
works.
here's my screen. Great. I have inbox 0 with just an invitation. Okay, so everything you already saw was nothing new. It's just like a very quick showcase of what our platform was already capable for many years. So there's nothing wrong, nothing new so far. Now we're starting to actually see something new. So here's my invitation. And by the way, this is fully customizable. So if you want to put your company logo or whatever, then feel free to do so. Here's my test. So Jakub just invited me to a DevSkiller exam. Let's go. And here it is. So waiting a little bit, it starts up. Here it is. It gives me a little bit of intro that I'm about to be tested for HTTP, Java, Spring Boot, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's the amount of time I get. And let's start the test. So once I start the test, I have 1 hour to complete this assignment that you already saw that Kuba was preparing. So here's what's going to happen. The platform is going to provide me a way to complete this task. And there are 3 modes. The Git and the zip one are actually very simple. I am given a Git repository, a dedicated Git repository, which I can clone to my computer, import it to my IDE like IntelliJ or Eclipse or whatever you want, and do development locally with Git pull and Git push. And here is the grand premiere, and here is the moment that you've all been waiting for. This is our brand new feature. As you can see, the third mode is the in-browser editor. And for the in-browser editor, the thing that we chose is IntelliJ IDEA. And let that sink into you. We are embedding JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA inside a browser. It's running in our cloud. It's running on someone else's computer. You just need a web browser with a decent internet connection, and everything is set up for you. Okay, so let's move on. Once again, this is all happening in the browser. So starting it up, the IDE is about to start, and here we are. So the first thing we should notice is that there is no loading, there is no downloading. Look at the bottom of the screen. There is no indexing, JDK, whatever. The IDE inside my browser, let me reiterate that, the IDE inside my browser is already pre-warmed up. The dependencies are downloaded, JDK is indexed, and so on and so forth. You are ready to start coding. So whatever you can do with your own machine, no matter how powerful it is, you will always have to wait at least like 10 or 15 or 30 seconds until it's already warmed up. With this solution, the fact that we are giving you IntelliJ that is absolutely from the first second available for coding gives you already this great handicap. So once again, this is my web browser, just to show you. This is the tab with Gmail. This is the tab with JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA, just like that. So here's my browser. And it looks like IntelliJ IDEA, but it also works like IntelliJ IDEA. The only thing that kind of breaks the immersion is our tiny model box that you can see here with the amount of time that's left. Let's just hide it for a second here and move on with the implementation. Of course, if you want to go fully immersive, you can just start full screen. So I can do something like, which one is it? I can actually open a full screen. I think it's one of these one. Oh, okay. So here is full screen, and this is not a desktop application. This is my web browser. I will go back to the normal view just so that you can still remember. So you can still remember this is a web browser, because this is what we are really excited about. It's a full, ready-made, working, fully featured IDE for development. Okay, you are not really looking at a screenshot, so let me just click through the project. This is the exact same project you saw on Kuba's computer. So let me open up the, what was it, giveaway service. And yeah, here it is. Keyboard shortcuts are working. So here is set off, it returns an empty implementation. Okay, here is where I'm supposed to do some development. It's actually like workable. I can also go with tests. Let's start with running the tests, because that's what I should probably do so in the first place. So let's run the tests.
As you can see, the verification test, so the verify pack, is not visible for Tomek, as it was, of course, removed from his version, because it's only available for the candidate assessment purposes. So it's just to assess if Tomek was able to fulfill all the business requirements, because we are talking about business requirements, and verify if his solution works and solve some edge cases, etc.
Okay, while you were talking, the tests run and they are failing because I haven't yet completed the assignment. That's okay. Let me just do some development. And by the way, this demo is not about showcasing IntelliJ, and this demo is not about showing how good it is. But I will spend a few minutes implementing this task, just so that you can see and feel for yourself that it's actually a really real life experience. It's not some simulated, sluggish, very, very slow environment. It runs in a quite beefy computer. It runs on a quite decent machine in the cloud, and I can actually run development. I mean, yesterday or 2 days ago, one of the developers actually made a mistake and thought he was running on desktop, while in fact it was IntelliJ in the browser. It's not as smooth, like 100%, but it's very, very damn close to running your own IntelliJ without needing a very beefy computer. So one more thing, why we did it, actually. First of all, we wanted to give you an exceptionally good editor so that you can do your recruitment tasks without having to have everything set up on your machine. You can even take your grandma's machine, which is very slow. As long as it has a decent internet connection, you can run everything in our cloud. So it's essentially an IDE as a service, if we're talking cloud passwords. Okay, tests run. So in a sense, it kind of reduces bias, because you don't have to have the newest MacBook Pro in order to complete the assignment, or if your home machine is slower than other candidates, this is not something that's giving you a disadvantage. Okay, let's move on to the implementation, because I think I said already too much, and I actually just wanted to go through some of the features of IntelliJ so that you see that they are actually working. Okay, so I think I haven't read the instructions, but it tells me to implement giveaway service and Twitter client. I happen to have giveaway service here. So my task, according to tests, is to choose a random participant out of the things that were returned from the Twitter client. So I first have to call Twitter client. So let's do this. Yeah, all the shortcuts are working. That's good. So let me say Twitter client. Of course, I have code completion. Of course, it helps me with everything I would ever want to have. So Twitter client.search. Now I need to pass query. I believe I need to add hashtag in front. We'll see. The test will tell. Okay, so now I have Twitter.search tweets. And what's there? Get usernames. I think that's the one.
I hope you are not writing the SQL queries with the same string concatenation, but I will just verify the repository later.
I hope Twitter is not susceptible to SQL injection, because otherwise, yeah. Okay, anyway, so here's my, let me just extract variable. Everything just works. So it's usernames. Okay, and now I'm supposed to choose some number of random people from that set. So usernames are actually Twitter handles. And that's why it's so important that you tweet this hashtag DevSkillerRevolution, because you will end up in this set in like 10 or 20 minutes. Okay, so how do I choose a random elements from a set? This is actually the place where I start Googling or using GitHub Copilot or whatever. But the thing is that I believe there's something like Shuffle, where I can simply take, what was it? Collections.shuffle. Yeah, here it is, collections.shuffle. Sadly, and as you can see, like every feature of Intellisense just works, and it's very, very snappy. I don't feel any latency. So it takes a list, but I have a set. So what can I do? I can simply
here, Tomek, I think it's worth to mention that you don't see any latency because we know where you are located, and the IntelliJ is served from the DC that is the closest one to you. So it's not like deployed in like 1 or 2 regions globally, but basically we are like rolling it out globally, and then we can choose the data center that is closest to you, or gives basically the smallest or the fastest ping, and we are serving it from this data center. So that's why the experience is so immersive.
And by the way, in the meantime, you can see that it's normal IntelliJ, so I'm not gonna brag how IntelliJ is good. It just like gives me all the possible hints. Like, for example, here you're supposed to use collectors, collect to set. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Okay, I think the first part of the assignment is actually done, which surprisingly is the easier one. Let's run the tests once more. Previously 5 tests failed and 2 passed. Let's see how's it going right now. Hopefully, I'm gonna get at least 1 more. Okay, just one test is failing. So most of the tests are we're failing. We're testing the shuffling part. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I was supposed to use secure random, right? Oh, that's bad. And okay, I'm happy. So I can put a random here as an argument. So how do you create a new instance of secure random? It's just secure random. Let's see. Okay, it compiles. I happen to know that creating it is quite expensive, so let's put it in a constant. In a normal application, I would probably inject it because it's Spring, but yeah, anyway, we'll see. Kuba will be doing some review of my assignment, so then he will be laughing at me. Okay, so it should be still working, so let's run the test again. And by the way, injecting random allows you to actually test that the randomness works, because you can use fake random. But anyway, that's beyond the point. Okay, so the first part of the assignment, I call it done. The second one is a little bit more convoluted. So I'm supposed to create a full-blown HTTP client. And the only thing I have is this wire mock specification. And luckily, there's a test. So what I can actually do is I can simply just try to replicate whatever the test is asking me to do, and I'm happy to continue. Okay, so there's Twitter client here, and Twitter client is empty. It's absolutely empty. So what should I do with the Twitter client? I probably need some HTTP client. Let it be REST templates. Typically, I would inject it, but once again, I'm lazy. Or sorry, it's a demo, so I need to be fast. New REST templates. Okay, this should definitely be injected. But yeah, anyway. So here I have my REST template, and in REST template, or sorry, it's just called REST. I can do whatever, get for entity or something like that. Okay, so what do I need? I need a URL to Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's part of this Twitter properties. Yes, exactly. So Twitter properties get URI. Like it or hate it, this project uses Lombok, and as you can see, this IntelliJ also kind of understands Lombok. So for example, it knows there are getters to strings and so on. IntelliJ has built-in support for that, so no problem with that. And of course, like everything you would expect from IntelliJ works here as well, as you will see in just a second. Okay, so we have get for entity, and now I need to use, what was this address? It was /2 something. One of the things that's not working flawlessly at the moment is a clipboard, so I will just write it down. So it's /2/tweets. We'll work on that. Just blame it on me. So /2/tweets/search/recent. I'm going to make a typo. Okay, there's quite a bit of work here, but we'll make it somehow. Okay, and now what I need is a class that represents the response, and this is going to be a little bit of the implementation. If you want to entertain the audience in the meantime, Kuba, feel free, and I will create a few Pojo objects. So. And I will do it in a very lazy way, so just data classes.
There was a question about the key set, if it's Mac or Windows preset, and basically the key set, sorry. And the key set, of course, is related to your computer. So if you are clicking from Mac, it will be Mac. If you are clicking from Linux, it will be Linux. So it's native, basically. And there is also a question for Jason. What happens if the connection is lost to the VM? Will the time stop? So there is no strictly VM here. What you are connecting from the web browser is our platform, and our platform ensures that the IDE works. So the only possible problem here is that you will have the internet connection issues, and that's not something that we can do something about, because we are not sure if the candidate just closed the browser or if the candidate decided to I don't know, just had some issues with the connection. But to be honest, we are monitoring the platform, and there are very rare cases that there are some problems with the internet connection. It's not happening almost at all. So there is no need to stop the time. So yeah, no problem about that. And yeah. So that's how I can answer. If there are any other questions, you can ask them. There is a question about me. Are there any changes for how it was done technically? I'm pretty sure we'll share some of the things, for example, how we are looking for the data center that is the nearest to the candidate and how we are managing that. But of course, there is some secret sauce we are adding to that, and that's not something that we would prefer to share. Still, DevSkiller is a commercial platform, not an open source platform. Even if that we talk a lot about our architecture, about our stuff, especially on the conferences or trainings, there are some things that we are not going to share because we spend years doing that, and that's something that we are very proud of. But yeah, always someone can join us as a developer and then take a look how it works internally.
I'm almost done, or more or less done. So it was username.
User?
Class user, thank you. Actually, IntelliJ was giving me a hint here, so thanks. Okay, now it says that I'm supposed to implement some methods. Here it comes. And yeah, I'm just basically replicating wherever is in the sample JSON. I'm just extracting things into objects. Pretty dull, but anyway, has to be done. 90% of our job is probably just passing JSON around. So yeah. Includes. The name of these classes are essentially come from the JSON format that comes from the API. So don't blame me for that. Someone asks what happens when the internet is kind of broken or we lost a connection. You just saw what happens. For 100 milliseconds, there was a tiny spinner. Probably my Wi-Fi broke down or something, but it still works. So yeah, I think I'm more or less done. So I just created a few Pojo classes, and response is the one that I need to use as the response. Okay, I think this is it. I just need to implement the get usernames method. So it includes get users. Can I actually say get username? Will it be smart enough? Nope. So I need to say stream.map user get username select to set. Okay, regarding Pojo's works, and my favorite feature of all time is multi-cursor. So I can type in multiple places at the same time, also works. Okay, so I think regarding Pojo's everything works. I'm just gonna run the tests and see how it behaves. These are integration tests. These are not these simple...
return null is
disturbing. Yeah, probably. Okay, thanks for that. Return, and what should I do? Get body.
Yes, Jason, the session can be observed.
object get body. Okay, I think it compiles, so let's run it. And we'll see what's going on. I think I'm still missing like an OAuth token, but I'll add it in a second. Okay, now wire mock tells me that something's wrong with my request. I'm missing a header, I'm missing query parameters, and I'm missing accept format. Okay, so let me very quickly do that. Or you know what? I'm just gonna copy the solution. Kuba, can I copy the solution to save people a little bit of time?
Yeah, I'm already like surprised that you decided to use a collections shuffle, which is like mutating the list. The person
but
who
I
always
don't know
says that
any,
everything needs to be immutable, but yeah, like let's copy.
Okay, it worked, great. I just copied the solution that my teammate prepared for me, just not to waste a little bit more not to waste more of your time, but yeah, as you can see, I need to like fiddle with a few missing imports, and this one is named REST. Okay, so what happened here? REST. Okay, so what happened here?
The response class. Yeah.
The response class has changed because I was still on. Oh, come on. Response. Okay, so yeah, it's essentially just continuation of what I did. So the same path, adding query parameters and providing the OAuth token. So that's something I was missing, but I didn't really bother to implement myself. Hopefully it now works. If I haven't made any mistake with the JSON mapping, not sure about that. If not, we will be troubleshooting it together. Okay, yeah, thankfully copy-pasting the correct solution worked. Okay, so that's it regarding the program itself, but that's not it. So imagine something was actually failing. So imagine I was trying to do some debugging, or I was trying to fiddle around with the application. This is not limited to just writing code and running tests, because that would be very limiting. So what I can also do, here is this tiny model that I hid at the very beginning. It allows me to go back to Git mode, so downloading the application onto my computer, but it also has a link to a running application. And this link is now broken because my application is not running, but let's run it. So here we are. Where is the actual application? Here it is. So let's run the application. Or actually, I wanted to run it with a debugger because I wanted to show you a debugger as well. So let's run the application. And just so that you got lost, why this guy keeps coding this weird and easy stuff, this still happens inside a browser. So I may not even have IntelliJ and Java installed on my computer. All you need is a screen with a browser. Okay, so the application started. It took it like 3.5 seconds. That's pretty cool. And there's a link here. Let's see whether that link works. Okay, this is Spring's error message. If I actually put, what's the convention? I can create a file here, like HTML file, in a static folder. Let's call it index.html. Yeah, let's add it to Git, whatever. Hello, DevSkiller. We'll talk about Git in a second. Hello, DevSkiller. And I'll add the hashtag DevSkiller revolution, or whatever.
It's not an HTML file. It's just a plain.
Yeah, but it will work. But will it be HTML if I type strong? Okay, here's strong. I think I need to, it auto-closed itself. I think I need to reload. So as you can see, what happens right now is I run the application. I'm not only developing it and running tests, I run the physical application in your own dedicated IDE that we are running in the cloud. And this time, if I open it here, you see DevSkiller Revolution. So it actually serves the application. So if it was a full-blown application with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you could actually run it and see how it behaves. More or less, what I haven't shown you, I believe Kuba was showing you, here's the giveaway controller, and it has a /giveaway endpoint. Let's run it. So I can say /giveaway. I hope you see the address bar. I think it will fail. It will fail because I'm missing a few parameters that are required. You can see how smooth it is. I'm just switching back and forth between my web browser and also my web browser containing the IDE. So here's the hashtag. So I'm supposed to add hashtag equals, I don't know, Java, and limit equals, let's say, 10. I'm intentionally using different hashtag. So if I now run it, it also fails with status 500. And actually, I expected that. So you notice that it throws null pointer exception somewhere. I wonder what happens. So let me go back to my IDE, which happens to be on the next tab inside the browser. And yeah, indeed. So in this line, I get null pointer exception. So what can I do? Well, guess what? Command F8. I'm opening up a breakpoint. Let's refresh the page. It hangs. Can you guess why it hangs? Because the breakpoint was hit here. So now inside a breakpoint, I am absolutely, I can absolutely do whatever I want with the code. So I can do some debugging. I can change the name of the variable. I can like force return something different, and so on and so forth. So the debugger just works. I mean, this is not an emulator. This is a fully functioning application. And talking about fully functioning application and fully functioning environment that we give to candidates so that they feel like at home, even if they are completing the exercise using like some weird computer or in a place where they cannot have the full-blown developer environment set up. So one more thing that just works is terminal. So if you used to like running commands from the terminal, here, as you can see, I'm like having a terminal where I can just type in commands. This is just normal Linux shell. So I'm free to say, for example, Maven test, and it even shows me the annoying tooltips just as with the normal IDE. So I can say Maven test, and it just works. Okay, so in a moment you will see tests that are running. And once again, this is not an emulation. This is your dedicated machine that we give you where you can run everything. This is so powerful, and the experience is so real life that many people are actually using this embedded IntelliJ idea for normal development because they can rent faster server than their own computer. Okay, so here's a terminal. I have shown you how the application runs. So once again, this is the endpoint. If I now refresh it, I believe the breakpoint will be hit one more time. I can now remove it, continue. I keep getting this error because I don't have real credentials to Twitter. Kuba has real Twitter credentials, so he will use my application. Kuba, I think I'm done. I know I copied half of the solution, but I think I'm done regarding the solution.
Save your solution.
Yes. So what I can do is, so actually I don't have to save anything because like we have a built-in integration with Git. So if you now look into history, you will notice that DevSkiller already did a ton of commits. It's auto-saved by DevSkiller, and it's already on some repository. So I can now go to this repository, clone it, and continue editing on my own computer. But everything is auto-saved. So what I simply do is I click finish, and I'm done with the exam. Let's hope you don't remember that I copied half of the solution. Let's just assume it was mine. Okay, so I stopped sharing, and Kuba, coming back to you as a recruiter. So thanks so much.
Yeah, so basically like what you can see right now is that what we are giving to the candidates is the platform where they can work as on a local computer. So like basically from the very beginning, when we were like building DevSkiller, we're thinking about something that is called right now candidate experience. But when we started building DevSkiller, there were no such like term. But we wanted like DevSkiller to be just fair. So verify candidates or developers against something that makes sense for us as developers. Not like verifying if we can like implement the Fibonacci algorithm, reverse the binary tree, or do some other like extra fancy algorithmic stuff which makes no sense on a daily basis, because if we need something like this, we use a library, or today you can use GitHub Copilot that will like create this solution for you. So like at DevSkiller, we wanted to verify if someone is able to like do a real job. So if you are working in Spring Boot or exposing REST APIs, let's check if you can like do that. So verify you against the hands-on experience that you have, not like if you remember some totally unnecessary, unneeded stuff from the university. And the thing that we were missing from the very beginning was a good IDE working in the web browser. Of course, you could, as a candidate, just clone the Git repository and open it locally, and that was like majority of our candidates were doing, because that's what you do normally. You clone repository and you work on that. But basically, it takes some time. You need to wait until when the dependencies are downloaded, when everything is indexed up, and now you can start coding from the first second. So that's how I believe that the developers should be tested. That's the way which is like okay for me. If I would need to take a test, I would like this test to be extremely practical, pragmatic, and smooth. So I don't want to spend too much time on doing unnecessary stuff and just taking the test. And our tests are crafted to be like funny for developers, challenging. As you can see, this test that Tomek was just solving, it's pretty interesting for me. I would prefer to take it in my free time because it's enjoyable. So that's what's important. But remember that the main reason to take this test and to make this particular task is that we want to give away the books. Okay, so that's something that is crucial. As you can see, Tomkiewicz scored pretty good. So he gained like 100% of the points. We can take a look at the details of his solution, and we can see that the score is like 100% because all of the tests are working correctly. So as you can see here, he was able to like fix and fulfill all of the tasks. The candidate tests, so something that was visible to him during the test, and also something that is visible for me as a recruiter. And what's also pretty cool is that I, as a recruiter, can simply clone his solution.
Can you increase the font size in your terminal? It's Command+.
No, but it's not important. I will just open the IDE. Okay. That's what I know how to do. So right now I will open this project. If I would manage to go to the...
So what Kuba did is he just cloned my project to his computer so that he can fiddle with it locally and run the code. And it's available with Git repository.
Yeah, I will do it that way. That will be faster.
If Kuba manages to find folders on his computer.
Yeah, but I know how to do that. So open as project, trust this project in this window. So what you can see right now is the task that was developed by Tomkiewicz. Sorry for that. And yeah, I can see all of the changes that were developed. So what you can see here is, of course, something that was developed by Tomek during the test. Of course, what I can also do is to check all of the history, so I can see how he was like editing this code, because it's Git based. So everything in DevSkiller underneath is working on Git. So everything can be done in such a way, so I can verify all of the commit changes, history, etc. what he was doing. So that's powerful. But right now, let me do one thing. Basically, let me change the JDK and let me try to run this application. But I will like edit it a little bit just to prevent frauds. So in the giveaway service, I have a stream. I will do it filter, and I will do a username equals.
Actually, not equals unless you want to win.
I prefer to have a book, but yeah, let's do it that way. I'm not sure if you will also tweet it.
Yes, T. Nurkiewicz. It's T. Nurkiewicz, TS in Polish.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do it that way, and let's run the application, and let's see if it will work correctly. So I was able to run it. Yeah, it's running, and now
I think it was actually starting slower than on our IDE.
Sorry. Okay, so we have two people that were like chosen. I will like put it somewhere here.
We were supposed to choose 3, you remember?
Yeah, I know.
Unless you have a different.
I will choose 1 right now. Additionally, it's Domer. Okay, so these 3 people please just send me a private message on Twitter. My handle is jkubrinsky, and we'll give you away the books. If you already have the book that is called Your Code as a Crime Scene, you will be able to choose a different book. But if you don't have this book, it's pretty recommended. It's a great book that we advise anyone to take. So that's how it works. As you can see, that was real life testing. That's something that we called a real life because where is my mouse? Okay. Because we were able to resolve a real life problem. That was my problem to draw people. Tomkiewicz just implemented the solution. I was able as a recruiter to download his solution to my local computer, open it, edit, and use it. And that's what the real life testing, so the root of the DevSkiller means. And that's what you can also do when you are choosing people to work for your company. If you are a company that is, for example, I don't know, a competitor of Skyscanner, so you are choosing for the cheapest flights between some destinations or fastest flights, you can just expose a fake airline website like Acme Airlines or Java Airlines and just ask a candidate to write an application or extend the application that is already an application that is existing. Because we are not working on a daily basis as developers on a greenfield projects. That's why, for example, I'm not especially fan of homeworks assignment when I need to do an application from scratch, because it takes a lot of time, and most of the tests at DevSkiller are around 1 hour or maybe even less. And basically, you need to just open the project, understand the structure, read the code, and find the place where you need to inject the correct solution, fix a bug or something like this. And right now, you can debug this code. You can do anything inside the browser. So it's as easy as it can be. And that's why we are extremely proud of this solution. That's why we invited you. And that's why our landing page was talking about the revolution, because for me, it's a revolution. It's something that allows candidate to take the test without hesitating to have a correct local environment, ensuring that everything works, pushing the solution on time, everything just works. That's how the skills assessment, not only in recruitment, because you can imagine that you can use exactly the same platform for workshops. I was handling a lot of workshops in banks, and that's almost a nightmare, because you asking, okay, so please open this. Okay, I cannot open that. I cannot install Maven. I don't have administrator permissions, so I cannot change the Maven repository or something like this. Something is wrong. And right now with this one, you say, okay, do you have an access to web browser? Yes. So you have a full environment with all of the dependencies, with, I don't know, Kafka and databases and whatever you need to work in your web browser. You just need a web browser, and everything else is handled by DevSkiller. So it's as smooth as possible. That's why I'm so proud that Tomkiewicz and his team was able to deliver that. So that's very good. If you have any questions, just drop us them in comments. And there is a question from Jason. What frameworks are supported? So can he use DevSkiller right now to do a .NET solution? So I think that we can announce what's happening next on our platform.
And you're looking at me, right? Okay,
yeah.
So now we will be releasing Java IDE, which is JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA. And we started with Java because we're a Java shop and we love IntelliJ, and we feel comfortable with that. However, we will be gradually rolling out each and every JetBrains product into our platform. And they cover pretty much any technology you can think of. So I don't remember the exact plans, but I think we will be targeting Android developers with Android Studio, because they require they have very heavy requirements on the computer. So if you don't have a really, really good CPU and a lot of memory, then you can just rely on us. And we also plan to release WebStorm for web development and PyCharm for Python. These are the closest plans, the most recent things we have on our roadmap. But eventually, we will cover every single technology DevSkiller currently covers. You can easily look up the test catalog of DevSkiller, and you will see all the technologies we have. We will also, of course, have .NET IDE. I think it's called Rider or something. I'm not a .NET guy, but there's JetBrains IDE for that. Reshaper is just a plugin, but
okay, it's So, but basically, JSON DevSkiller already supports .NET and .NET Core, of course, with the latest version, and it's supporting like a native Visual Studio project. So it's not that we have like one file solution for .NET. It's just a regular project using Nugget to manage dependencies, using MS Build to manage the build process, etc. And the rest of the IDEs will be rolled out, and it's a matter of a few weeks when all of the technologies that we support at DevSkiller will support the in-browser IDE, because right now you can use .NET, of course. The candidate can clone the Git repository or use our simpler version of the IDE, because IDE was already here, but we were just not proud of how this IDE works. It was far away from how the modern IDEs looks like. And even if you use the Visual Studio and you compare Visual Studio code to IntelliJ, that's like, it's hard to compare that. You can like run that, you can debug that, you have full-blown like Intellisense that comes from IntelliJ as well. So like that's pretty important. And is it always the latest version of IntelliJ? I think yes. So we are controlling that, and we are ensuring that it's the version. But of course, we need to test it before like rolling out, so there can be a small delay. And you can install any plugins, because it's like a normal IDE. So you can do anything with that. The only the difference is that it works on our end. So you don't need to like bother about like downloading it, etc. So it just works.
Technically, we might expose one day a possibility to like upload your own configuration. So if you have your own key map or your own color styling or whatever, of course you can also always like switch to dark mode. So if our platform is switched to dark mode, then IDE is also in dark mode. If you prefer that, it's called Darkula, as far as I know. So yeah, it's IntelliJ, right?
Yeah, and there is a question about the fraud detection, the project assignment. So we do a lot of stuff to prevent frauds. I don't want to like talk a lot during this webinar, but like feel free to send us an email to hello@devskiller.com, and we'll be happy to answer that, because there are a few different like things that we are doing to prevent that. Can you add your logo somewhat? If you are asking about adding the customer logo, yes, there is an option for a co-branding where your logo can be visible next to the DevSkiller logo. So there is like a great thing for that. Code together also like important stuff, and there is also like the JetBrains also working on some like pair programming tools. You can also use pair programming with our platform right now, and that's also pretty nice feature. Okay, any other questions? We have 2 minutes left, but if we are okay, then I think it's all. We'll send the link to all of the participants to the page where you will be able to test yourself. So just take the test similar, or maybe even the same, that Tomek was resolving right now, just to play with our platform. For those of you who are not registering for the webinar, or just watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, we'll just probably tweet with this DevSkiller Revolution hashtag, or you can always follow the DevSkiller account on Twitter, and we'll post this one. So like, yeah, just click follow on our DevSkiller account on Twitter, and we'll post probably tomorrow or maybe on Friday the link, so we'll be able to play with the platform, by yourself, and I
see how cool it is.
Yeah, if you like the solution, just always you can click on our website devskiller.com for register for a demo, and you will be taken like a demo of the platform. You can get a trial to play with it on your own. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. It was like great for us to share that. As you can see, I'm smiling all the time, as I'm really proud of what we've built here and how it works, and how DevSkiller finally looks like I wanted it to always look. So that's the form of the DevSkiller I always wanted to have. Right now we have good people on board, right people in the right time, so we deliver that. So yeah, thanks for that. Of course, great thanks for JetBrains for their cooperation and how they are open to working with such companies as ours. So yeah, thanks and have a nice day and stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Bye.